Hey guys, Eric and Roth here. We're going to talk about the episode of Game of Thrones, Oathkeeper. So full spoilers for that episode, but also a weird spoiler warning here because we're going to talk about not what's to come on the books that we know, no big reveals, but how this episode showed a lot of stuff that wasn't in the books, maybe even stuff from books to come.
Yeah, this I think was the biggest game changer in the sense, like there's been a lot of hinting that they were going to sort of maybe go off book, that they were going to be going more and more in their own direction. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss met with George R.R. Martin, know the ending of the book, and said they might sort of start to incorporate elements that they talked about with him. And now they have. I mean, by the end of that episode, book readers were just as shocked as show watchers at other events going like, wait a minute, what is going on?
Yeah.
Who are these White Walkers?
Right. And that was the big one. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can't get to everything because there were a lot of ways this episode changed things. Little ways, big ways, but it was really beyond the wall where a lot
That was the
happened.
big stuff. Yeah, I mean, of course, there was like the Bronn and Jaime stuff. How Meereen was conquered was different, which I think will actually have repercussions going down the line, but we don't need to get into that. It's beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Let's first talk about Bran. This does not happen.
No.
He does not go to Caster's Keep. He does not meet up with the mutineers, and nor does Jon Snow. And so are they now on a collision course to either meet one another or really annoyingly just miss one another?
That's my small fear, is because it's a big deal if any two Starks are reunited, right?
Yes.
Because they've been separated since the pilot, basically, except for a couple of people who then were separated. So to have this possibly happen will be a very big deal. I'm a little wary only if they do that near-miss thing, because now we know that Bran's already there. We know Jon Snow's on his way. It will be a little frustrating if it somehow veers away. I'm totally okay with them changing stuff, I should say, by the way. I'm kind of excited by it.
I'm so excited by it because I love the books. We all love the books. I love the show. It's so enticing to me to think that we're going to be, not that we're not on the edge of our seats. We are, because it's so well done. But to really be like, I don't know where this is going. I am so looking forward to seeing this play out next week and I think that what book lovers are concerned about is that this could potentially alter the course of a lot of different stories if Bran and Jon meet, but at the same time, isn't that interesting and exciting?
Yeah. And I think, you have to look, maybe they're just starting something that I felt they were going to start anyway next season, which is because the fourth and fifth book are so dense, introduce way more characters. A lot of stuff where we already had talked about, we felt they were going to have to cut a bunch of these characters, have to streamline stuff. So I think this season we're going to start to see in the second half of it, maybe a lot of these changes are going to start to take foot now. It's like, here we go. We're going to start altering things again, because like you said, the showrunners know how the books end. So they might just go on a very different path to getting there, Yeah,
I mean, and the thing is, too, is I want to say that I understand the people that feel resistant because they want to see the story that they love unfold. And I think that we will. I think in essence, we really will. The essence of the story is going to play out exactly like George R.R. Martin wants it to. He is very involved in these conversations. Yeah. But it's nice to be surprised, too. And we want to have Bran have something to do,
right? And I think that they knew that. They knew that there were some complaints that Bran doesn't have a lot to do. He's an important character. We can tell that, but it's a lot of him traveling, learning some stuff about his abilities, but not doing a lot. This is making him much more active. But let's talk about the White Walkers of it all, because I think this was obviously the big deal.
The big deal.
Because this is the first time where we not only think that they're seeing a different version of something, or maybe, what if this happened? This is like telling us information the books have not told us, at least not yet.
And I think it's big information. I mean, we always knew that the White Walkers were going to play a big part in sort of how this all culminates, right? Mm-hmm. Now we really know. Yeah. Because the book, we didn't know what happened to Caster's sons. Like, they may have been eaten, they may have frozen, like, we just didn't know.
Yeah, I think I felt like, he just put them out in the cold to die or something.
But now we know. Mm-hmm. And basically, it tells us a couple of different things. First of all, there is an origin to the White Walkers. I mean, there is... First of all, tell the people that don't know the difference between the White Walkers and the zombies.
Right. The zombies, or the whites, it's very confusing terminology, are basically, using the term zombies, they are transformed. The White Walkers, who are definitely sort of, I don't know if they can have great conversations, but they seem to be, they're sentient. they kill you and you become a zombie,
right.
and seem like you're just sort of a shambling, sort of classic zombie, while the White Walkers, there's sort of a system there, a hierarchy, if you will.
Yeah, so they're kind of like necromancers. You know, once if they kill their enemies, they then control the bodies, the corpses.
Yeah.
And those are the zombies, and then the White Walkers are the people that are actually controlling it.
Riding horses.
Riding horses. And it looked like a human baby could be transformed into a White Walker, and that they have been building an army for quite a long time. Now, there is a big theory. Now, this is from the book. Okay, so there's a character in the book called the Night's King that's in the lore and legend. And there's a theory that Darth Maul White Walker that we saw right there at the end is him, is the Night's King. And I don't want to say too much about him. If you want to know, you can go Google it.
But I think no matter what, it seemed like you're just watching as a viewer, you're like, that's their leader. You know, it's like, that's, whatever his name is, whatever they call him, it's like, this is their leader. So we're just, again, since in the books this never happened, this was very surprising, interesting stuff for everyone watching the show.
Absolutely. And we want to mention this, we'll have an article about this as well, but we don't know if it was a typo or but they did call him the Night's King in the official HBO synopsis, and then they changed it to White Walker.
Right.
So we don't know if it was just a typo or if actually he is, and that's been a reveal. So that's been a lot of debate online, and we don't know the answer to that. You have an opinion.
Well, no, I mean, it's like, it could go either way. At this point, though, it's like, again, I think it probably wasn't a typo. It could be a typo, but it doesn't matter, as far as the important thing being that this is just seeing a side of the White Walkers going to their world that we've never done. And the idea that they transform babies, because this means they grow up, right?
Yeah.
That they're not just always looking like creepy adult White Walkers. They can be creepy baby White Walkers, creepy infant White Walkers.
And there's a couple of the cold ones that could, including another character that we haven't seen yet, that could potentially, and we don't know, interestingly tie back to the Starks. So I think this is so exciting to speculate about in terms of where the show is going in the long run. The subtle changes and the big changes they're making sort of tell us different things. Maybe we're going to write about that in kind of a fully book spoilery editorial, because I don't want to spoil anybody that's watching this that hasn't read the books. Just know that we are as in the dark right now as you are, and it's a pretty exciting place to be.
Yeah, the shoe is now on the other foot as far as all those people who've read the books and go, I can spoil everything for you. Guess what? The show might have just spoiled, if that's the right word, things that come in the books. But that's kind of the exciting, interesting part of having a TV show about a series of books that's not done yet.
And I hope we see more of them. I honestly do, because I think that's a pretty fascinating group and a very important group in this series.
Same here. Let us know what you think in the comments, though. Are you, fascinated, happy, upset about the fact that we're getting these divergent things from the book, and more importantly, getting some facts that we might not know yet, but are probably coming in the books? Let us know, guys. We'll have plenty more Game of Thrones here at IGN.